Now we'll discuss about generics in Java. So generic in Java allows you to uh, solve certain problems whenever you try to access certain elements from your collection. So in Java, collection frameworks allows you to store different type of object with the help of generics while creating the collection. It is possible to mention the type as well as while accessing element from the collection you can perform automatic casting. So we will discuss about the problems which are there before generics concept in Java, then how generic solves those problems. So we'll start with why generics. So before generics, that is before JDK 1.5, if you want to create collection in Java, where you don't need to mention the type of the collection, right? So here I'm adding, so I'm creating a list, and here I'm trying to add element into my list. So here I'm adding an integer object, and in accessing the element from the given list, right? So I have an element in my linked list. I would like to access it. So for accessing element from the list, we use iterator, and in iterator there is a method next, so that is going to return the corresponding object type. So here manually you have to typecast it so that you can get the actual value, right? So here the typecasting is manually required, and while perform this kind of manual typecasting, ensure that as a developer you should know what all the elements are there in your linked list. Suppose if you are not handling the typecasting properly, then definitely you will get a runtime error, right? But what happens when after including generics concept in Java? So here we are creating the same type of linked list. Here we are mentioning the type within a bracket. So integer is a type where you are going to hold integer objects, right? So here I'm adding element into my linked list, and here I'm going to retrieve the data from the list with the help of an iterator and next method. So here you don't need for a manual typecasting, because the compiler knows that the collection type is integer, so the data to be casted as an integer. So as a developer you don't need to put your own logic for casting it. Your compiler does the job for you, right? So, and moreover you won't be getting any runtime error because of typecasting. So this is a benefit of applying generics for your collection classes. So what are the problems what are the problems solved by the generics? So the problem is your compiler is unable to verify the type. So type in the sense the type of the collection, because while creating the, so if you look at the code before generics, while creating the linked list, we haven't mentioned any type. So the compiler is unable to verify the type of the collection, and each and every assignment, so while retrieving element from the collection with the help of iterator, every assignment should have a typecasting, right? Suppose if you have done something wrong in the typecasting, then you will get class cast exception. So this is a typical problem with a collection framework without the concept of generics, right? So generic in the sense you are attaching the type while creating the collection, right? So which means that you are conveying this particular collection is going to store an integer type, or your collection is going to store string type. Likewise you are telling this information to your compiler, so the compiler automatically performs the typecasting whenever you try to fetch the data from the iterator and you assign it with some variable, right? So with the help of generics you are instructing the compiler that this collection is of a particular type, so that you can avoid a manual typecasting while retrieving element from your collection. So so that whenever you represent a type of a particular collection, suppose you are creating a collection of integer type and you are trying to store string type into that collection, right? What happens is your compiler will definitely show the compile time error, because your compiler knows that this collection is of type integer and you are trying to add string. So the usage of generic class while creating the collection, will try to mention the collection type. And from JDK 1.5, this generics features added in Java. So after JDK 1.5 version, you can able to create a collection with the type, right? So for example, here we are creating a vector with the type of a string, and we are trying to add an integer type of an object, right? So what will happen here is the compiler knows the type of the collection. So if you try to add an object of a different type, then definitely you will get a compile time error. And while retrieving element back from your collection, you don't need to perform the typecasting. So these are all the benefits of going towards generics while creating your collection classes. And in case of a map type, so in a map type you will be having key and value pair. So we have key as a string type and value as a mammal type. So mammal is a user defined class, so you can able to store an object of the corresponding class. So here we are adding element into the collection, and here we are retrieving element from the collection. So in the retrieval part, you don't need to perform the manual typecasting for the user defined classes also. Suppose if you are creating a collection class, either by representing the type of the collection, or you can have a raw type of collection also. So the classes which are developed before JDK 1.5, those classes or those applications, still they can able to run it on a JVM which are designed after JDK 1.5. So which means that the applications which are designed with the help of JDK 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, still those application is being supported in recent versions also, right? So in the first case, we are creating a collection with a type of a string, and here we are initiating your collection without mentioning the type. So it is we call it as a raw type of collection. Right? So there is a feature in Java that is type erasure. So this allows the type of the collection will be retained during only the compile time. In the execution time, your JVM doesn't know whether the particular collection will be of an integer type or it is of a string type. So this is a feature known as type erasure. So your JVM does not know what type of elements are there in your given list, right? So the generic type information does not exist in runtime. So the generic type only there during the compile time, right? For example, if you have an array list, right? One array list of type string and another array list of type integer, right? But during the runtime, both the collections are treated as an array list class or the same array list class. So type cannot be retained during the runtime. So here we have an array list with a type of an integer and with a type of a string, and here we are creating boolean data by comparing the class name of both the references. So there is a method get class. So the get class method will simply returns the corresponding class name. So AI dot get class returns the class name of the first collection. AS dot get class returns the array class name of the second collection, right? So as I told you, during the runtime, your JVM does not remember the collection type, because the collection types are only retained in compile time only. So at the runtime, both the array list treated as a same array list. So the class name is going to be array list here. So if you try to print it, you will get true, because both the array list of integer and string belongs to the single class. So the applications which are designed before JDK 1.5, still Java provides support for those kind of classes. And for example, uh, in the raw type, suppose you are creating a collection with a raw type, right? So you may get some warning while developing your code, right? So if you wish, you can rectify those warnings by mentioning the type of collection, or you can simply leave it to the compiler. So here we are creating a linked list uh, with a type of string, and here we are creating one more list with a type of raw type. Here we haven't mentioned any type, so it is a raw type, and we are assigning the reference. So here you are trying to add an integer type. Why? Because you have a string type in the your collection, so you will definitely get a compiler warning, and while iterating it you will get the runtime error because you have to perform the manual type casting. So here the problem with a given code is you have mentioned a type as a string, but here your list is a raw type, so it allows you to store integer with a compiler warning. But if you neglect the warning during the runtime, we are going for automatic typecasting. So we are assigning it to the string, but the actual value is integer, right? So here definitely you will get runtime error. So whenever you use raw type while adding element into the collection, you may get some compiler warning. If you ignore it, definitely you will get runtime error with the help because of your class cast exception. So based on our previous suggestions, you are not supposed to use a raw type whenever possible. So instead raw type, you have to go with a collection with a corresponding type, which means that you have to use generics. So every time you create a collection class, ensure that you are mentioning the type of the collection, right? And there is something like autoboxing and unboxing in collection, so which we discussed earlier. So before JDK 1.5, you have to go for explicit boxing. For example, if you are declaring an integer variable I1 and you are creating an object type and we are casting it, so this is explicit boxing is required in the earlier versions of JDK. It is before JDK 1.5. From JDK 1.5, we have an automatic boxing. You can directly assign it like this. So I reference equal to I. So here I is a primitive type and reference is object type. So this will directly auto box your primitive type into object type. And in case of unboxing, you need to perform explicit unboxing in the applications which are designed before JDK 1.5. So there is a method int value. So this method allows you to convert wrapper type into an primitive type. But after JDK 1.5, you can go for automatic unboxing. You can directly use assignment operator. So the unboxing is being done. So from JDK 1.5, you have a feature of auto boxing and unboxing in collection classes. And so the primitive types of values can be converted automatically into one wrapper type with the help of auto boxing and unboxing feature. So here there is an integer variable, integer wrapper type, and here A is a primitive type. You can directly assign it for converting your primitive type into an object type. So which is true regarding generics. So it enforces your compile time safety on a collection because you are mentioning the type of the collection. So during the compile time itself, you are ensuring the type. So option A is correct. When using collection, a cast is needed to get element out of the collection. So you don't need it, right? Because we are using generics. You can, a cast is needed, but the casting is done by the compiler itself, right? So both options are true. If you are using generics, then you can go for automatic conversion. So whether the following code is get compiled, you are creating a list of type animal. So there is nothing wrong with the code. It will definitely gets compiled.